Welcome to Spooky News from Spooky Ventures for June 28th, 2019. This is our last edition of the month, so let's get right on into it. North Wales Live has a story about a gentleman named Will Winfield who apparently got video and pictures of a UFO over a place called Snowdonia, I believe is the name of the place. In any event, we'll have links for that. You can check out the video and the pictures on their article. But hey, we've always got to have UFO content, right? Wouldn't be spooky news without it. It seems that way anyway. One of the most famous UFO abduction stories took place in 1973 when Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker claimed to have been abducted by UFOs. Well, the site of their alleged abduction now has a historical marker placed there. So if you're traveling in Mississippi, you can go check out that marker to get an idea of just where this happened, or supposedly happened anyway. Perhaps it's not completely a spooky story, but there's a news story out of Alabama, uh, Mobile County, Alabama, about an illegal cemetery and the fact that they've had some of the graves caving in and they've got a strong smell coming up from the ground. They're trying to get the remains moved to a regular cemetery, and there's a big investigation going on. So that's making news. I'm not sure if there's such a thing as paranormal tourism, but if you happen to like to travel around and visit places that are supposed to be haunted, there's a new one opening up in Seguin, Texas, which I think is near San Antonio. It's the Magnolia Hotel, which apparently is a very old hotel. Supposedly, they've documented a number of different spirits in that hotel, and they've been in the process of renovating it, so it's been closed. Supposedly, the renovation has been taking longer because of a number of paranormal events happening. In any event, they're going to start doing overnight stays at the hotel. I'll share the article about the stays in the description of this video, along with probably the link to the hotel's website itself, so you can get more information. They haven't said when they're going to start doing these yet, but it's coming. And then I also have added a couple videos to our general spooky videos on our our Spooky Ventures YouTube channel for the playlist. So you can check that out, some video of that hotel. While not precisely news, a website called The Travel has recently published a list of 10 horror movie locations that you can visit. Among them, of course, the Stanley Hotel, which passed as the Overlook in Kubrick's version of The Shining. They list the Exorcist stairs. I've been there. I've climbed them. They're in Georgetown, near Washington, D.C., and very, very steep stairs. And there are a number of other places they list that you can visit, including Friday the 13th camp, the Myers house from Halloween, and check out the list. I'll include it in the description for this video, and maybe plan a trip. If you are anywhere near Newcastle in the UK, or going to be anywhere near there, you still have time to check out their Summer Hauntings Festival. Apparently, it runs from June 21st to July 5th, so some of it's already happened, but they have all kinds of haunted tours, ghost stories, all kinds of things. It just goes to show you that we at Spooky Ventures are not the only ones who think spooky stuff should go on throughout the whole year instead of just being restricted to 1 month out of the year. So, like I said, if you're anywhere near there, sounds like it ought to be a good time. While perhaps not exactly news, just like the earlier article, um, an interesting article has emerged this week from a website that's devoted to the Alabama Crimson Tide uh, sports program, uh, and it's all about hauntings and ghost stories in the state of Alabama. So that's kind of something worth checking out, and again, it might give people a good source for places to go visit too. Uh, I'll be sharing the link for that in the description for the video so you can check it out. Starting on July 3rd and running through August 28th, Discovery Harbor in Ontario, Canada will be running ghost tours. And apparently, visitors to previous tours have gotten some interesting things on camera. It should be a pretty interesting thing to maybe make a trek to Ontario to check out. And if you happen to be in the area anyway, hey, it's a bonus, right? So check the details on this video for more information, for links and things. As you may or may not have figured out, I don't record these videos all at once, but rather over the course of the week. So after I mentioned the paranormal tourism, a day or so later, in a nice little bit of synchronicity, I got a message about an article in the Mirror in the UK about how Airbnb is now offering a paranormal tour of the Southwest. It takes you to locations like the Overland Hotel, which is supposed to be haunted, and the extraterrestrial highway, where they're supposed to see a lot of UFOs. It's a complete paranormal tour. So apparently, paranormal tourism is a thing. Good to know. If you like heavy metal and horror both, you might want to check out a book called We Sold Our Souls. It's written by someone named Grady Hendrix. And it's apparently a horror story, but it focuses around a metal band. And each of the chapters is bears the title of a heavy metal song. So that seems like it'd be something pretty cool. I know a lot of people are fans of the FX series American Horror Story. There's a new season coming out on September 18th, and it's going to be a retro season because it takes place in 1984. So that should be pretty cool for all you who enjoy that show. Fans of Stephen King's book The Stand are probably going to be pleased to know that CBS All Access is doing a limited edition TV series adaptation of the book. And Stephen King's pretty excited about it, apparently. There are a lot of big names in consideration to be in the show, and it should be interesting stuff. I remember the miniseries they did years ago, so hopefully this will be really good quality and at least up there with that one. A&E is apparently going all in on paranormal programming. They've got five new paranormal shows. Well, five paranormal shows coming on the network. One of them is a reboot of Ghost Hunters, which was one of the original paranormal quote reality shows on the air. That was originally on Sci-Fi for 11 seasons, so it's coming to A&E now along with four other shows. So they're really ramping up the paranormal content. A new movie called Haunt is going to be coming out on September 13th. It's apparently about people who go into a haunted house to explore, only to find out that there are some psychopathic killers inside there to torment them. And they've just released some pictures from the movie to kind of entice viewers into getting some interest in it. So you can check that out. And like I said, the movie's coming out on September 13th. Should be pretty cool stuff. At least the premise sounds really intriguing. A lot of people probably know Glenn Danzig as a musician and probably have followed his career in that angle. But what you might not know is that he also has been doing a comic book called Veronica, and they're making a movie of it. In fact, it's the movie's finished. There was a screening recently, or there's coming up a screening coming up. Well, actually, by the time I record this, it's over. It's June 25th in LA. And so you can keep an eye out for his new horror movie based on the comic book. I have no idea how it's going to be, but it sounds kind of interesting and worth checking out. Imagine a horror movie set in a world with superheroes. And the trench apparently is just what you will get if you think about that. Um, Kind of an odd twist if you ask me, but hey, it might be cool. I guess that movie is going to be set in the same world as Aquaman, in the undersea world of Aquaman. So it might be kind of a cool twist. I don't know. They've been, for my money, the DC films, based films, have been sort of hit or miss. I was a little underimpressed with Aquaman, so I wouldn't get my hopes up too far. But hey, if you really like those, and particularly if you really liked Aquaman, you might be having something really good to look forward to. And I could always be very surprised when I see it. And talking about a horror movie set in the DC Comics world, I know a lot of fans were disappointed when the new Swamp Thing series got canceled after just one episode. Apparently, Warner Brothers is considering doing a Swamp Thing horror movie, sort of as kind of a way of appeasing those fans and hopefully giving them something new to enjoy. So keep your eyes posted open for that. I'm sure there'll be more information coming as time goes on if the project continues. New movies opening. The movie, the 16th episode, opens today, so you can get out there and check that out. And then a movie described as a horror folk horror movie called Midsummer is going to open on Wednesday, so that'll be something to go check out in the theaters. Now, remember, you can always check out our calendar at Spooky Ventures. If you go to the main page at spookyventures.com, scroll all the way down, you'll see a picture of the calendar. Just click on that. It takes you to our full calendar. We list birth dates of horror writers, people in horror movies, um, and release dates of movies, some events that are going around the world on specific dates, anything that we consider spooky and think you might be interested in, we'll include there. So be sure to check out that calendar. And that's all for this week for Spooky News. Be sure to come by and check us out again next week. We'll have a brand new one. And don't forget to go by spookyventures.com and check out more content and merchandise and all kinds of cool stuff. And always keep it spooky. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.